Alright, good evening everybody. I'm going to be joined by Mark, I think, maybe even Tony, but one second Mark, I need to figure out how to put the hell,
The thing.
Yeah, I got no brain cells left. It's Saturday night at like 10 o'clock. Right, sir. That's what I need. No, that's not what I need. How's things, Mark? Did you get your, did you manage to get your thing ordered?
Yes, I did. My FLGS guy came through, said I've got the thing allocated, so yeah. I've got my copy sorted. I've got no idea. Yeah, should be good. Hope. You got yours?
Yeah, I got like 4 pending transactions on my, it was kind of funny. It was like, I getting like $1 holds on my credit card when I guess like, I kept failing at checkout.
Fair enough.
Determined to get through though.
A number of my friends had similar issues where they could see the full balance had been taken from their card from Element Games, but it didn't show up on their My Account as a purchase, and they didn't get email confirmation, so they're a bit worried and stressed as to whether it's happening or not.
Music device ratio is too high, okay.
Ooh.
Could just be the intro song, it's extremely loud.
Maybe.
I'm about to... Tell me, do you know off the top of your head what size of base a Judas ER is on? He's probably on a 40, is he?
Not off the top of my head now, but we can find out fairly quickly and easily. Give me a sec. Not that we at all endorse Wahapedia in any way, shape or form.
No, we definitely don't. But then if we did endorse them, maybe we would get sent the free stuff.
That would be
Alright,
fun,
who's in
wouldn't
chat? Mike, good evening. Afolk, good evening. Nathan, Raziel, what's happening?
40 mil, apparently.
Pandaman Pete, good evening, everybody. Hiya. I hope everybody that tried to get Leviathan got it. I read some horror stories already today.
I saw horror stories from a lot of people, but I also saw, as the day wore on, everybody who wanted one appears to have been able to get one. So I think it must have all worked out well in the end.
I hope so. I hope nobody got screwed, because I saw on eBay they were already $600.
Yeah, I hope that just like with Indomitus, they wait for the scalpers to try and buy loads of copies, and then say, right, we're going to do made to order, everybody wants one can get one, screw you scalpers. That would make me laugh.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? David, good evening, hello. Yeah, so I want to confess to you that, like, I was on Well, I was at work till Thursday.
Mhm.
I left work early on Thursday. And because it was my last day before like a 10-day holiday, being the like reasonably high up, I have to make sure everybody else has work for the next 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So I really didn't see the data sheets. And then I've been building a shed the last 2 days. So I have had very, very, very minimal. Very, very minimal.
You did the video on the Tyranids one, though. I take it you had a reasonable time to have a look through that? Because I haven't looked through that at all yet. But I have done a fairly detailed look through the Space Marine one.
I was going to say, no, I did a video on the Leviathan data sheets, but only the Space Marine stuff. I didn't touch the NID stuff. I think I recorded that maybe like Tuesday night or Wednesday night, I don't remember.
Cool.
Nathan ordered 2 Element, and it says it won't be dispatched till the 24th. Yeah, my Element said it wasn't going to be here till the 26th. So.
Well, the release date is the 24th anyway, so...
Raziel looks like he got his copy. Congrats, Rez. Wargsbane says good evening. A-Folk says he ordered from a very small, new local shop. He got it for 170, I think that's euros. That seems okay.
Yeah, seems reasonable. I'm paying 120 for mine, off 150 RRP, Great British Pounds.
Yeah, I was
which is
really
20% off.
To try and put some Blade Guard in my order, but like I'm convinced Blade Guard that tonight.
So now it's confirmed that a Blade Guard takes up 1 space in a Land Raider.
Yeah, and did you see one of the units that like I think this week? Like I actually wanted to ask you, like I don't know when we're gonna do our tier list, but I think this week I'm gonna do like a hot takes video on some things that I like the look of. And one of the things that first sprung out to me is if I attach a Judas ER to a Blade Guard, then they fight first.
You don't want to charge them. Yeah. You don't want to charge them.
So I already have a boatload of Blade Guard. I already have a finished Judas ER. I think I'm going to run 2 squads of Blade Guard. Because at that point, Blade Guard are kind of unchargeable, if you ask me.
And Blade Guard with their stances, one for offensive and one for defensive, makes them incredibly tasty.
Yeah, and
very nice looking.
Yeah, and they're not unchargeable, but if you have 5 of them in a Judas ER and you get charged, you're going to lose.
There's a good chance they're going to attack you before you attack them, unless you're making multiple charges and it starts worrying about if they charge multiple units of Blade Guard at once and they've all got Judicious attached to them, then it might start getting a bit confusing. But
it will get confusing. But yeah, I think I'm going to start with 2 squads of Blade Guard. Oh my god, Rez says BGV are amazing. Rez, you finally... I've been arguing with him for months saying they're going to be good. Finally, he's on board.
David, I saw that post before you removed it. The leaked schedule of stuff being revealed does include points and a GT pack, which is supposedly being shown off by Workshop Friday 16th, so that's next Friday. God knows what's going to be in the GT pack, but we'll find out when we get there.
So yeah, no, for me, Blade Guard looks super tasty. And
here's what I'm building today.
Blood Angels Terminators.
Yes.
I mean, they're tasty too.
Yeah.
They're always tasty. Blade Guard no longer have a 2-up save, yes, but they can reroll 1s in the fight phase on their invulnerable save, which is pretty tasty, I guess, right? And there's, being able to attach a fight first character, I think, is pretty strong. The Dagger's off to the GW store to try and buy it there.
Agree.
I was going to say, good luck, Dagger. Good luck.
Just have a quick shufty and have a look at what else.
I was going to say, in chat right now, tell me, the data sheets have been out for a few days, right? I have had a very small amount of time to look at them.
So the Judicia can join an Assault Intercessor squad, a Blade Guard squad, an Infernus squad, Intercessors or Stern Guard vets. And realistically, there's no choice there. It's going to be the Blade Guard.
Yeah, for me, it's I think I'm 100% joining them to the Blade Guard, and I think I'm gonna run 2 and join both.
Assault Intercessor have got some melee punch, but it's minimal compared to Blade Guards and their defensive, so that makes sense.
I think so. I don't know. I've been saying for a while, I think Blade Guard are going to be good, and I think this makes me think even more they're going to be really good.
You've been watching them for a while. Get a Crusader, 16 models. Nice.
I have awoken. I finally got that sound effect, so I'm linking it up right now. So super chats. Well, subscribers and members are going to get that I have awoken meme.
Mm-hmm.
I have awoken.
Perfect. What's your thought on Redemptor Dreadnoughts?
-1 damage is obviously fairly tasty. I think that the Onslaught Gatlings are now really nice, given that they're devastating wounds and they have a huge amount of shots. Which leads me on to, I think Gladiators, my stocking 2 particular Gladiator variants have gone up massively. I don't care for the Las Talon Melter one, but the Lancer and the Daka ones I think are incredible. But the 12 shots, if you can get rerolls to wound with them for whatever reason, devastating wounds, they can just scythe through stuff.
Yeah, it seems the Dagger's saying that like he's fucked off with the pre-order stuff. The pre-order this morning was difficult, man. Like really difficult. Like I was there. Like I can see why people are getting frustrated. I know that like Element Games said that they were getting like thousands, and then they were sold out by like 10:05.
They probably did, and they probably were. They were limiting to 2 units a person, right?
I don't know. I think
that's what they said.
Desperately trying to get one in my basket and get through checkout, and I timed out on the checkout stage like 4 times. And like you fill in your credit card, you click purchase, it's like timeout. You fill it in again, you click purchase, it's like timeout. At that point, I was like, shit, should I be trying to use PayPal? Timed out again. I was like, ugh. So it's I don't know, what was anyone that pre-ordered in America, how did you guys get on? Was it fine in America, or did you use GW's website if you were pre-ordering in America? Did you know that Primaris Intercessors can actually ride in a Rhino now? I did see that, and the thing that I was interested in about transports actually was Impulsor.
They can't ride in a Rhino.
Oh, they can't?
Primaris were never going to ride in the Rhino. Primaris would ride in the Impulsor.
Sorry.
And Firstborn will ride in the Rhino. It was always going to be that way.
Yeah, they did say that the Rhino was going to have extra restrictions. So sorry, can Primaris go on a Razorback or no? I never actually looked at the Razorback.
So, but let me just have a quick shifty on that one.
I did end up getting a pre-order. I think mine went in at like 10:05, despite being on the site from like 10 minutes to 10, refreshing it constantly. And then being very worried after like I got kicked out like 5 times.
I have awoken.
Hey folk, thank you so much for becoming a member, I appreciate it. Impulsors have firing deck 6. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. That was the thing I was most interested in with the Impulsor. They have firing deck 6, which means...
And I assume you can drive Hellblasters in them, or Infernus things in them or something.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually thinking maybe like Devastators in them.
Did you spot which other transport comes with the assault ramp ability or something comparable to it?
I mean, the Land Raider has that, right?
The 3 Land Raiders have that, and the Land Speeder Storm has it.
Oh, I did see this Storm. I don't really like Scouts, though. But, I mean, I know some people do like Scouts.
It's got it doesn't have Scout, but it still flies 14 inches, then disembark, and then move, and then charge. Yeah,
the thing that seems most broken at the moment, anyway. Well, there's 2 things that I sort of looked at and was like, don't know if broken is the right word. Very strong, might be a better determination. But the things that I looked at that seemed very strong were Brutalis Dreadnoughts can do 12 mortal wounds when they charge, give or take.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
Razorback is firstborn only, no Tacticus, no Phobos.
Okay. Brian, thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate it. If anyone's a new member, type !Discord in chat and get into our private Discord room, or members only Discord room. Pandaman says he threw one of my cart on the GW website, but I took it out. I don't love the models beside the Terminators. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I'm not majorly fussed about whether I get it or not. The only thing that I'm bothered about getting out of this Leviathan box for the purposes of needing it and wanting it for gaming with is the set of mission cards. The big 300-page rulebook will be nice, but I've printed out the rules and I've got them all sort of like in this nice handy little folder that is really light and it's got 60 pages of paper in it, and I can carry it around me quite happily and easily, so not bothered. The models, the Space Marines, I don't think I'm bothered with for Blood Angels, but they'll be nice enough for my Raven Guard, so okay, I'll pick them up and I'll put them in there. Tyranids I don't care about, but if I'm getting it anyway, it's good value for money when you're buying it all together, and I can keep it as a combat patrol, and that might be nice and useful at some point. And the Tyranid models are fucking beautiful.
The story with Vanguard vets is that they've simplified their weapon options, I guess.
Yep, they've got one melee weapon profile, basically.
And people are genuinely going to hate that.
Yeah.
But
the whole point about them previously was you got to customize them. You got to make them do whatever you wanted them to do.
I was going to say, I think there is one saving grace for Vanguard vets, and I don't know if many people have seen it, but for me anyway, when I was looking at it, the saving grace for me is that they're strength 5 -1 damage, right? So as a Blood Angel, we know that like our chapter doctrine, chapter tactic, chapter, what are they calling it? Detachment rules?
Detachment rule, yeah.
Is going to be +1 strength, +1 attack on the charge.
Yep.
So we're going to get more attacks, and they're going to be strength 6, which means they're still going to be really strong into toughness 3, and they're also going to be pretty good into toughness 5. Right? Like there's basically no improvement into toughness 4.
And given one of the strats they put in for the Gladius one, where things in the Assault Doctrine can get the Lance rule, which is +1 to wound with melee weapons when you're charging, I'd be surprised if I didn't see something like that cropping up for the Blood Angels as well. So getting +1 strength, +1 attack, and potentially +1 to wound as well, that's not bad.
And the only other thing they're supposed to say is that like, let me think. The only other thing to say is, they're the only jump unit that can really take Storm Shields en masse, right? So they can still, they are going to be the most durable jump unit. So if you want fast moving durable, it's still going to be Vanguard vets. Assuming we don't suddenly log in tomorrow and it's like, oh, Sangre Guard have an invulnerable save then. I don't think they'll get an invulnerable save, Sangre Guard. I'm pretty sure Death Company won't get an invulnerable save, so oh my god, I actually have 3 Judas ERs. I just found another one on Sprue.
Why do you have 3 Judicious?
Because
Did you just buy that many boxes of Indomitus or something?
I got 2 boxes and then Andrew gave me all the melee stuff, because obviously he just plays like Iron Hands and stuff. He didn't really care about...
Fair enough.
He didn't really care. I don't know which one is supposed to be the Judas ER's backpack though.
Does it matter?
No, it's not supposed to overly matters, does it?
Alright, let's make the most important model from this Terminator sprue, the Teleport Homer.
No, I don't have I have the rulebook for whatever reason, but no, it's good. Does anyone have the Indomitus instructions? And if so, you would be a superstar to tell me what number the Judas ER's backpack is. Oh, it's probably on. It's probably on Google actually. Yeah, you're probably right.
Reddit. There's that Reddit instructions page. Indomitus instructions, Reddit. There we go.
The Apothecary can revive the Ancient Champion and the Veterans. Oh, in what? A command squad? Does anyone run command squads? What would be the advantage to running command squad?
The Judicious backpack is item G14. That's G14.
G14, thank you. G.
I like the new Contemptor rule. I'm finding it interesting and amusing that they said that Contemptors are going to go Legends, and then that appeared in the index. It's entirely possible they were only referring to Relic Contemptors at all, but I was a bit surprised.
Yeah, I mean, they were referring to relics, but the funny thing is that rule basically reads like it should be for the Relic Contemptor, because they come back to life like they're never going to die because they're a fucking relic, right?
Then again, it's entirely possible that they won't get points as part of the organised play points thing, and they might say, if you want points, go to the Legends section. Or they don't intend to ever update these index rules.
Jordan's asking what model you can use as a proxy for the Judas ER, because you can't find any for sale. I think the only way you can get them, Jordan, is it's in one of the bundles on the GW.
Box, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in like an $80 box.
It comes with all the characters out of Indomitus and nothing else, and it's ridiculously bad value. Although, news just in, Ancients not completely shit anymore.
Ancients are good, man. Terminator
and
Ancient
news
might
also
be good.
just in, Hammerfall Bunker not completely shit anymore.
It's Honored of the Chapter is what that box set is called. I think if I was you, I would go and look on eBay for Judas ER. Basically, like, all the Judas ER needs to have is a large two-handed sword.
Yeah.
So
possibly a skull. And if you want to give it something that looks like a giant hourglass, then do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would just try and find like a chaplain head, like a skull type head or a masked head. I think that's what I would
get from Reavers or a Bits thing, or you can probably get a skull head from Death Company or something. I don't know.
Yeah. eBay has been kind, so slow. He managed to get Dante at retail. Nice.
Has your Dante turned up yet, or is that still a sore subject?
I mean, at this point, I reckon Leviathan's going to turn up before Dante.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it's actually starting to get pretty annoying. It's going to be like 2 months now. In 5 days, it's going to be 2 months waiting on Dante. It's like, what's the point in pre-ordering them if you have to wait 2 months on them?
Just think, if you'd have walked into that workshop you took the picture from this morning, you could have picked one up and walked out.
No, that was one of my friends sending me the picture of the queue. I didn't actually go to Games Workshop this morning.
I was wondering why you were walking past Workshop taking pictures of it and then ordering the thing off of Element Games. That didn't make a lot of sense to me.
No. My friend sent me a picture of Games Workshop this morning, and I was like, oh my goodness. Very.
Scouts do look really good. Sniper Scouts in particular look really good. I'm tempted to break a few of those out. If only because repositioning them with Master of Deceit through the captains, the Phobos captain looks fairly tasty. And the Primaris Librarian and Phobos giving Eliminators the ability that they can't be shot if they're outside of 12 inches is also very cool little combo. I love the character upgrades.
I was going to say, I actually really like the Primaris Librarian. Which is surprising.
Why? Because he gives everybody a 4-pin on the squad he's in.
Yeah.
Who do you want to give it to, though? Realistically, out of the choices of units he can join, who do you want to give that to?
I guess that's a good question. I would give it to Desolation Marines.
Why? They can fire from out of line of sight. Surely you'd rely on that rather than give them an inval save.
Well, I mean, but they also have crack missile, and you might want to be able to get
super crack is quite tasty.
Blown up with crack missiles. You can also attach an apothecary to the Desolation Marines, and that will give them the ability to bring one guy back, and I believe it gives them sustained hits as well.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
So I think that. I think like
it's 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think those Desolation Marines are actually broken as it currently stands. Which leads me on to what I'm going to be building on tonight's stream, Mark, is as soon as I build this Judas ER, I'm going to be building Desolation Marines.
I've been doing a bit of looking around for them on eBay myself earlier today.
Oh, have you?
I've come to the conclusion that I'm probably just going to buy a box of 10 intercessors and convert them. Because I think that's going to be a lot cheaper.
When do you think Augustus will go on sale again?
I don't think it ever will, but I think the individual units from it will go on sale when the Codex comes out. Although, we are due some new models, because Workshop have this like worldwide game competition thing going on, right? And the winner of the game competition is going to get a bunch of model reveals for their faction. It's going to be either Tyranids or Space Marines. So in order for them to have a bunch of models reveals lined up for either faction, those models got to be ready for both factions.
That's correct, yeah, I suppose.
And it just means that one faction is going to find out before the other.
I really hope that these new monopose models don't have the same, like, I'm literally sat here, see this Judas ER? Do you remember when they gave you the bases with the little holes in them?
Mm-hmm.
So I've literally got this Judas ER with a hole in his base, and I just want to fill it. And I'm like looking on all the sprues for like a tiny little, whatever you would call that.
You want to fill it? Oh, just like fill it in so there's no hole in his
damn base. Yeah. It's like, why is that?
Does his foot go in one of the little holes itself, or are you just put him flat on the base?
His foot went in one of the other holes, yeah, and now I've got a fucking hole in the base.
I find toothpicks are good for that. I put a toothpick in, super glue it in, and chop it off at the top with some clippers.
It's probably not a bad idea, but I'm looking at all these Indomitus sprues. I've got heaps of them. It's like, do none of them have like a little bit that goes in the base and blocks it up?
No. They used to do those things where you had like skulls that would go in, or little piles of bullets that would go into those things.
Yes, and that's what I'm looking for, and I've got nothing.
I don't think.
That's good fit, I guess.
I'm not sure they're in there at the moment. I haven't seen those things for bloody ages.
There was some in the Leviathan box, but... Oh. I need something to fill it in with. That's pissed me off.
Tony's volunteered us to play Space Marine 2 on 3-player co-op together.
Space Marine 2? When does that come out?
End of the year at some point. The actual release date is not confirmed, but they did a Not E3 show earlier this week. Jeff Keighley did it, and they showed off some more gameplay for Space Marine 2, and confirmed it's going to be 3-player co-op.
Oh, right, cool.
For the main story campaign.
I like co-op. I like Dark Tide, but it didn't seem to go anywhere. It was just like the same missions over and over.
That's exactly what it was. It was that and a grind. And they were fun, but it didn't develop or do anything. I think the plan was for them to develop things and go over time, but then they got stuck fixing stuff rather than create new content.
Was there problems with Dark Tide? Like, it seemed fine when I played it.
Apparently there were progression problems and stuff that I didn't see myself either. But
I was going to say, I guess I didn't get far enough. Fair enough. Alright, I found a stupid little rock. That is that hole filled in, thank God.
We're doing a bit of thinking about what to do anti-armor with.
You have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question. I guess we're going to find out if, best case scenario is a bunch of our Blood Angels characters can attach to, make some of our models anti-armor.
And, get +1 wounds and stuff. You say grav cannons are good, Mike, but grav cannons are good at wounding, and one assumes hitting. Then they got -1 AP. And a lot of vehicles have got 2 up armor these days, so you can wound everything the whole day long, but if you've only got -1 AP, then are they really that good, doing 1 damage a time?
There's probably most factions. About a bunch of factions have like a strat to reduce AP by 1 or something like that.
It's entirely possible.
Because Marines got that, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, the way I see it, there's 3 ranged anti-armor main sort of categories we've got to go with. Grav is one of them because it's got anti-vehicle 2+, and then we try and stack AP on it through the strat that gives things extra AP when you're shooting. And maybe you do the Storm Speeder, but I'm not really sold on Storm Speeders.
Gregory said in chat, bad times, this kid smashed his television with a Peppa Pig car 8 minutes before buying Leviathan.
The hell?
I mean...
Alright, I bet your kid's not getting any treats for a little while.
The kid's definitely not getting Leviathan. The kid's not getting anything for 20 years at this point.
So Grab's an option, Melter's an option. The problem with Melter is it's relatively low strength in comparison. But it's got high AP and high damage. But since it's only strength 9, it's going to be wounding most armor on 5s. So you get rerolls to wound and preferably a +1 to wound, then you're probably good with Melter.
See, that's the worry of taking Redemptor Dreadnoughts, right? Because their shooting has got objectively worked, right? That's the thing about Redemptors, right? I've ran 2 Redemptors to a bunch of tournaments, and I've ran 3 before. And the problem with the Redemptor was their survivability, right? They were never brilliant at shooting because they're always swingy D6 shots on the plasma cannon. Whereas now, they're D6 +1 shots, which I think is actually objectively a bit better. Because even like a 2 means you get a decent number of shots.
Yeah, I mean, having +1 attack is objectively an increase. You can't argue it's not.
But I think their survivability looks massively better, right?
Yeah.
And in melee combat for Blood Angels, there'll be strength 13, which
is nice.
I guess it'll be wounding most other armor on 3s at strength 13, right?
Yeah, most attacks are toughness 12 that I've seen. There's a few things that are probably going to be toughness 14 that we've seen, but I think they appear to be the exception rather than the rule. So if we say most armor appears to be toughness 12, then in order for something to be reliable anti-armor, you want to be wounding it on 3s or better, and you want to have an AP of what, -3? -2 at a push, but -3 at least, assuming that they're going to have an armor save of 2+. Vindicator anti-armor does look good. And heavy, like repeated las cannon fire is going to be my third option for ranged anti-armor fire. Either las cannon or heavy las, or the las on a gladiator lancer. But the Vindicator gun is very cool anti-armor. I just don't get why they gave it the ability that they did. It makes fluff sense, but it's not in any way sense useful in a game.
Alright. It's going to be Desolation Marines, because I honestly think Desolation Marines... It surprises me when Games Workshop come out and say something like, we're toning down lethality with this edition, and then I read the rules. You know what? On the Augustus box, you get none of those stupid bases with holes in them, so that's something.
Have you read what the new land speeder does?
It gives blast units something. I'm drawing a blank.
It gives indirect blast units. Ignores cover, and I think it was +1 to hit or something. So it doesn't just work on whirlwinds. It'll buff Desolators. It'll buff Thunderfire Cannon.
Yeah, I saw whirlwinds. So whirlwinds are much better now, right? In terms of damage output, I guess.
Yeah. The loss of the fight last stratagem suppressing fire is kind of necessary, given that fight last doesn't exist anymore, and is a bit of a shame that it didn't do something comparable, like remove fight first. But
no, when I read
battle shock on stuff from range is pretty tasty.
Who uses Thunderfire cannons? No one right now, but last edition, loads of people run 3 Thunderfire cannons last edition. I think Marines. I think Desolation Marines indirect fire looks absolutely bonkers. So lieutenants aren't as good as I thought they were going to be, nearly.
Generally speaking, I agree, but the fact that the buffs they give, they can join a unit alongside a captain is kind of tasty.
So this is why... Right, hold on. I'm just going to pull up the rules.
Have you noticed there's no lieutenant with jump pack option? There's all the other lieutenants. There's a captain with jump pack, there's a librarian with jump pack, there's a chaplain with jump pack, but there's no lieutenant with jump pack.
I was going to say, I don't even remember the last time they sold a lieutenant with a jump pack, right? Like,
Oh, they never have.
Right, so...
The fire strike is cool, yeah. The fire strike does look very interesting.
Yeah, I thought a squad of fire strikes actually looks kind of interesting. Right, so Primaris Apothecary attached to a Desolation squad, right? If you do that, in the command phase you can return one model. If for some reason they kill the whole model on a 2+, you gain a CP. I thought he gave sustained hits. What am I missing?
Is that from the biologist, maybe?
No, I'm missing.
Oh no! Sustained hits was from
the librarian, wasn't it?
The enhancement, wasn't it? The bolter.
That was it.
Bolter
Bolter
thingy
discipline, yes.
And that's probably the most overpowered enhancement of the 4. I think that's the one you're going to see guaranteed out of all 4 enhancements.
Yeah. So you give bolter discipline to your Primaris librarian.
Mm-hmm.
He basically gives any unit he's attached to sustained hits 1 and an unmodified hit of 5+ scores a critical hit.
Yep.
So basically what that means is on 5s you get sustained hits, right?
Mm-hmm. And it also means if that unit does lethal hits for any reason whatsoever, that would trigger on a 5 as well. Because it's lethal, that procs off critical hits just like sustained hits does.
Right, and then what you do is so you have a 10-man Desolator squad. So that gives you 10d3 basically or something. So you have like 20 shots. Indirect.
Mm-hmm.
And Desolators, I always want to call them Desolators, they're Desolation. Right?
Everybody knows what we're on about.
Yeah. So I think these are the most broken, and that's why I'm literally going to start building them.
Okay.
So each time this unit remains stationary, until the start of your next movement phase, raised weapons equipped in this model have ignores cover and can ignore the penalty to hit rolls when making indirect fire.
Yep, so they'll be hitting on 3s then, right?
So their indirect fire normally hits on a 3, so they can just continue to hit on a 3.
Oh, do they hit on 2s normally? Or do they hit on 3s normally?
They hit on normally 3s.
Okay.
Just blast indirect fire.
So if they didn't have that, they'd hit their indirect on 4s, which is fine.
Yeah. So
Fancy hitting on 2s as well? Bring a land speeder.
would the land speeder buff then, would it?
Yeah. So reading it now. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit that is visible to this land speeder. Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Adeptus Astartes model makes an attack with a blast weapon that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll, and the attacker's ignores cover. So the ignores cover gets wasted, but
You've got double ignores cover at that point.
yeah.
Okay, so you get roughly 20 attacks, hitting on 3s, indirect, ignoring cover, so they don't get any bonus for like you shooting them indirect.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can pay 1 CP for Storm of Fire as well, which would increase the AP of those attacks.
Yep.
And I think there was a way to get them sustained hits too, actually. I'll be back in just 1 second.
So the enhancement sustained hits too, or am I misremembering? No, the enhancement is sustained hits 1. Oh yeah, somebody was talking about stacking it with another sustained hits ability from somewhere. What also gives sustained hits? So you can get +1 hit from incursors, or you get +1 hit from a land speeder. That's cool. Either way it works. At least in this situation. It was going to be a chaplain. That was what it was, wasn't it? One of the chaplains gave buffs to shooting stuff. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Why apothecary? Why apothecary with bolt discipline the best? Primaris chaplain less interested.
I actually don't know why apothecary, but here's the kicker on all this, right? Like, here's the kicker. We're talking about like shooting indirect. We're hitting on 2s, right? We're basically sustaining hits on 5s, and then they don't get any cover, so there's AP on these, and so there's all this nonsense. And then the one thing that we're forgetting is you can Oath of Moment that squad. They'll full hit to wound and reroll. So basically you're just saying, like, on average, you'll probably be able to put like 30 shots, maybe, like, I don't know, unless you're shooting armor or something, the enemy are just going to have to make so many saves.
We're not looking forward to anything tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be... We would be announcing pre-orders, but we've already announced them on a 2-week pre-order cycle, so nothing's going to get announced tomorrow.
They don't typically announce stuff on a Sunday. Mike, do you have inside information? So is there any way to get sustained hits 2s? By attaching the Primaris library into the Devastator
through them.
Is it the
Primaris Libby gives them 4 up invuln though, right?
It does.
Chaplain can't join Desolators anyway. So the thing that I came away with most after reading through all these 250 odd pages with the data sheets was, I need to just spend some time in Excel and write a matrix on what things can join what and what buffs come from what and what they buff.
It's not a bad idea, actually, is it?
Yeah.
That was my video this week, like, because I make my tactics video every week. My video this week was going to be like my favourite picks in terms of like who's joining what and like what meta pick can I make and what am I going to be doing. Because straight away I'll tell you, if I can take, I think I have 8 Blade Guard, I've got 9 there. I noticed the Primaris, they did make a datasheet for the Primaris champion after all. Like, he can join Blade Guard as well. I think I can't remember why, but there is a reason for him to join Blade Guard.
Primaris Lieutenant cannot join a Desolation unit, which is probably for the best for the combo that I was just considering. It's notable how it's restrictive how many different characters can join Desolator unit, because not a single leader can join a Devastator unit.
There's it is a bit. It's going to be hard to remember, I guess, all the joining.
Yeah. That's why I want to write this list. And I appreciate some people have probably done this and shared this somewhere, but if I write it myself, it'll stick in my head better. Which is kind of why I want to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I make my YouTube, honestly.
It's fair, yeah.
I've actually found myself watching my own YouTube videos. Do you know what? There's no real advantage to have. You can. That was it. So if the chapter champion is part of the Blade Guard, they can heroic intervene for 0 CP.
Hey. Wow.
So.
Okay.
So you could have one squad of Blade Guard that can heroic intervene for 0 CP, and you could have one squad of Blade Guard that fight first. And you could obviously like throw the one that's fight first, like, assuming that we still have to hold the middle on some maps, you just throw them into the middle of the map and be like, right, if you charge me in the middle of the map, I'm going to kill a bunch of your models before you get to fight.
Yeah, you could do, or you could have 2 squads of Blade Guard and Judicious.
Yeah,
they're not limited.
True. I did like the idea of heroically intervening on a squad of Blade Guard for free, though.
What do you think about Inceptors now? Obviously, their punch is massively reduced, but they've got that very interesting ability instead.
I honestly didn't read the data sheet for Inceptors. What do they get to do?
So Inceptors can deep strike. Instead of being outside 9, they can deep strike outside of 3 inches of an enemy unit.
Okay.
But if they do so, they can't charge, because obviously.
But what would be the advantage to coming in within 3 to land on an objective or something?
Yeah, probably. If they think they've screened something out just for an objective or to do an action or whatever hell else the various secondaries are that we haven't seen yet.
Okay, interesting. Well, I'm glad that I'm glad I bought the Primaris Company Champion on Made to Order. But it does seem very strange that they would put him out on Made to Order and then, like, what, a week later give him a data sheet and be like, well, if you made to order, you got lucky, but if you didn't made to order, you get screwed.
Oh, let's be fair, he's not going to be a difficult model to convert or kit bash.
No, that's true, I suppose.
It's even out of existing official GW models.
I thought there was a way to get sustained hits too on the Desolators. Maybe I'm wrong.
Somebody was talking about being able to stack sustained hits effect, so there's got to be a way to get multiple sustained hits on something, and I can't remember what it was.
Pod says, I know you dislike Plasma, but Hellblasters with Primaris Apothecary seems fun and cool. Plasma, I think, is hard to get a read on at the moment, because I obviously really like Redemptor Dreadnoughts Todd, but their Plasma is going to be Strength 9, so I don't know if they're going to just feel weak, because...
I kind of agree with Todd, he's got a point. Have you read the special ability of what the Hellblasters do?
When they die, they get to shoot again, right?
Yeah, they get a chance for that. So you could just keep doing that and keep bringing them back with an apothecary and keep killing them and keep getting extra shots.
Hellblasters have been notoriously overpointed. Like, they were 33 points per model, I think, all the way through 9th edition. So unless they really... Like, they were basically the same price as a like 33 points per model is just the same price as a Sanguinary Guard, give or take, or an Assault Terminator. And in, like, a Blood Angels list, I would just be like, I'm always going to take a Sandguard or an Assault Terminator over a Hellblaster, I feel like. They're the same points, right?
So, Seriad, you say you've never been able to stack the same rule. I appreciate where you're coming from, and I agree to a degree, but the thing is, when you have something like Feel No Pain, it specifically says that when you have multiple versions of this rule, you pick the best one and use it. And what I was thinking about something like Sustained Hits 1 going to Sustained Hits 2 was you're not taking them together and adding them together to be Sustained Hits 2. You're just having 2 instances of Sustained Hits 1. And there's nothing in the rules that stops a unit from gaining an ability that's already got. Nothing at all.
Yeah, I don't know where I got that from then. I think maybe I'm...
Until they FAQ it or do something or something in a thing that says that they can't. It's not
people have been saying that people are saying that Sternguard are going to be really good as well. But
Sternguard full of combi weapons looks interesting to me. That's a unit I could get behind. I'm not going to bother putting heavy bolters in them, but if you put a bunch of Sternguard with combi weapons going down, they're all shooting their guns, doing anti-infantry 4 devastating wounds. That could be a decent chunk of mortal wound output, especially at half range when they rapid fire. I can see that, depending on points, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard to say what's going to be good. We're going to have to see the Blood Angels rules to really know.
Yeah, I'm going to have to see points, which we're not going to get until the end of all of this.
And I suppose the other thing is the Bolter Discipline, or sorry, not the Bolter Discipline, the Oath of Moment is going to skew everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I was going to say, Marines haven't had full hits and wound rerolls since, like, 8th edition, I guess, right? I think Guilliman let them do it. Ultramarines do it in 8th. But no one else has had that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
For a long time. Sisters had it on Morgan Val in 9th edition, and honestly, every time I fought against Morgan Val, it was just like, this is BS. I hate the full hits.
What's the AP of those heirloom weapons on a Vanguard vet again? Was it -1 or 2 or something?
It is -1.
Okay. So if you run them with a Libby with jump pack, that gives them an extra AP for their melee weapons. And you can use the strat on them to give their melee weapons another extra AP if they're in the Assault Doctrine. So that could be interesting.
And if you're Blood Angels, they'll instantly go up to Strength 6. So that still means, like I said, Strength 6 is still good.
Yeah.
Because it's good against Toughness 3, and it's good against Toughness 5.
And if you're using the strat on them that gives them the extra AP, then that also gives them the Lance rule at the same time, so they may well have... Well, no, you can't. We're mixing Gladius stratagems and Blood Angel detachment rule, and that's not going to work. Because it's pretty certain that the stratagems that come with the Gladius detachment won't be in the Blood Angel detachment.
No, I agree, but I mean, I'd be very surprised if there isn't a strat for Blood Angels that gives us either more attacks or more AP in close combat. Like,
yeah.
That's,
I agree with that.
That's very staple, I think, or that's highly likely, right?
Currently, as things are written, from everything we've seen so far, you cannot take Gilliman with Blood Angels because there is nothing that we have seen at all that gives him the Agent of the Imperium keyword. Personally, I suspect that will probably change come the Codex, but that's just a personal suspicion. For now, no Gilliman in Blood Angels.
I built my Blood Angels Assault Terminators. Are Lightning Claws good on standard Terminators or only on the Sergeant and Captain? Lightning Claws were really good.
Doesn't make a difference anymore because the Sergeant has just as many attacks as a regular version of a Terminator these days because they just use the Lightning Claws or Twin Lightning Claw stats. So it's less relevant now.
I mean, I have 5 with Thunderhammers and 5 with Lightning Claws, and like I don't necessarily see any of that as bad. Like I'm just gonna, like I'm not in the like. I think both are pretty decent, right?
Yeah. Both have got their place, especially given the beefed up defensive profile they've all got now, and how their shields just give them an extra wound. I say just, obviously it's good, but.
Oh shit! So Terminators with Storm Shields are what? 2 up, 4 up, but 4 wounds.
Yeah.
Huh. That's in some ways that's not as good as you think. Right?
It makes them more survivable against. No, it doesn't make them more survivable against damage 2 weapons.
Exactly. It makes them more survivable against damage 1 and damage 3 weapons, but not damage 2. Yeah. And we always talk about how there's a shitload of damage 2 in the meta, like everybody's bringing damage 2, right?
That changed right now, because what the meta is at the moment is completely irrelevant to what it'll be in a week.
That's true.
Somebody pointed this out, and I didn't spot it my first time through. The basic tactical squad is now a fixed 10 Marines.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
You can't bring 5 tacs anymore.
People were upset about that.
I don't know why they made that change.
I was going to say I saw the naysayers on Twitter being like, they're phasing out the firstborn. Like those people exist.
Well, yeah, they are, and it's a shame. But I don't know.
I mean, I literally never run a tactical squad, not once in the whole of 9th edition. And it's like, I started 2nd edition, so I have about 10 Blood Angels tactical squads.
Yeah. And the tactical squad special ability is it can pull back and shoot and charge. Whereas the intercessor unit can sticky objectives. Great.
Sticky objectives is so powerful. Combat squadding is gone, yes. I mean, with the flexibility of detachments now, where like anyone can take 3 of anything, I think combat squad could have got a bit crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I understand why they removed combat squadding.
Scout sniper squad can't be shot at if you're outside of 12 inches for it, so 5 scout snipers is now just brilliant backfield holders. assuming that they're screened, or you don't really care that much.
It's good. It seems like, from what I've been reading anyway, what I've seen, it seems like Marines are going to be pretty competitive this edition, which I think is overdue, honestly, because we were in a rough place like almost all the way through last edition. Unless everything from now on gets power creep, and once again, we're just the fucking bottom of the pack.
But we've only seen one other faction at this point, and we don't have points. So we don't really have any context or frame of reference yet.
Dave says he's got Vanguard and Death Company to build. I mean, I would build them all without the arms at the moment, Dave, or start magnetizing arms, because...
Yeah, if you can hold off until Friday, when at least the rumored release schedule tells us we will know what the Blood Angel data cards are, and we will know all the points. That's going to be the point where you can make an informed decision.
I mean, absolute worst case, you're going to have to wait 2 weeks for today, because 2 weeks for today is when the actual box comes out. So I would get everything ready, bar the arms. I can't, none of us can give you the best. Whatever we say today is probably going to be wrong.
Although, it could, I mean, it might not matter in the slightest, because the way Vanguard vets go, it doesn't matter what loadout they've got. They've all got heirloom weapons, so you can put whatever the fuck you like on them. And the only choice is do they have a storm shield or not.
I was going to say Vanguard might get heirloom and Carmite weapons or something. They're all just the same profile.
Wouldn't shock me at this point.
No, it wouldn't shock me
Every scout
either.
bike in a scout bike squad can take a grenade launcher. That is indeed what the index rules says. Yes, Shard.
They are trying to make things more uniform, right? Because that's how you balance the game. So like, I mean, I wasn't like, I have a lot of Vanguard veterans, and I have them with all different weapon options. But like, I don't think I hate, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I hate it as much as other people. I don't know why I don't hate it so much. I think it's because I never really ran Thunder. Like, although I've got Thunderhammer Vanguard veterans, I didn't think they were a great, like, if I need Thunderhammers on my list, I typically would always take them on Death Company or Terminators over Van Vets.
They weren't the killiest option of jump units we had that could use them.
Well, yeah, and for me they were a more, like, and I like durable units, so for me they were just a more durable, like, they were the durable jump units, and the reason to take Vanguard veterans was to take them with shields.
Because they were the only jump unit we had that could have an intel save. You're absolutely right.
And they still can do that, and I don't think I hate the heirloom weapons all that much. Like I said, the heirloom weapons will be fine for killing. I mean, they'll kill infantry, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll kill them just fine.
And you can bung a jump character with them, and they'll do a bit more killing.
Yeah, if there's ever a strat in like the Marine book that can be like +1 strength, right? So they're base 5 strength. As a Blood Angels, when you charge, they're 6 strength. If they're led by a jump captain, like a jump captain with a Thunderhammer, I think we could see that come back. If they're led with a jump captain with a Thunderhammer, then they're 7 strength. So if there's any enhancement or strat or anything that can give more strength, then all of a sudden you're on strength 8. So at that point, there's like strength 8 on Vanguard veterans with storm shields. You got a whole squad of strength 8. That's actually not bad at all.
You run them in Gladius, and you don't have the Blood Angel detachment bonuses, but you can use the stratagem that is the Assault Doctrine stratagem and make some +1 to win, which is objectively better than +1 strength.
Oh yeah, I suppose double Vanguard veterans with dual Lightning Claws has disappeared now. I never actually ran that. And I suppose I used to run sometimes Lightning Claw and Chainsword. I guess that's gone as well. Zero tuning in for the first time from Argentina. Thanks so much, Zero. How are you? Did anyone in chat want Indomitus today and not manage to get a copy? That's maybe the real question. Like, was there anyone desperate for a copy that didn't? So I keep calling it Indomitus. Leviathan.
Yeah.
Did anyone actually want a copy and not manage to get a copy?
Oh shit, maybe I should actually build my Reavers now. Is that you? Yeah, maybe Reavers are worth a look. Yeah, okay.
What makes you think they're worth a look?
Every enemy unit that they're in engagement with at the start of each fight phase has to take a battle shock test, and it'll be at -1.
I suppose if they survive.
They don't have to survive. They just have to get in combat.
Oh, I suppose, yeah, at the start of the fight phase, huh?
They can just be throwaway charge things at things that you want to take battle shock tests at -1. Which is pretty tasty, really. Save that to late game. The opponent thinks they've got something safe holding an objective in the backfield, and suddenly, ooh, Reavers.
The captain with a bike is still around, but he can only now join
You can join Outriders bike squads. You can join both, if I recall correctly.
Outriders and bike squad, yes. I didn't look at bike squads, but I was not impressed with Outriders. I mean, it would have had to be insane. Like, it would have had to be something really special to get me excited about Outriders, and I just didn't see it.
Mm-hmm. No, there's no jump lieutenant. You're absolutely right, Jim. Pretty sure I didn't miss it either.
No, other people were saying that. There's now no jump lieutenant.
Yeah. Centurions seem a bit now.
Really? I thought Centurions looked good.
Yeah.
Strength 10. Well, again, I'm factoring the +1 to charge for Blood Angels. So, like, +1 attack, +1 strength means that their weapons are strength 11. They're 3 damage weapons. They get sustained hits 2 against, like, before it was just vehicles, now it's monsters as well,
with
right?
3 attacks. Oh, I suppose 4 attacks if they're Blood Angels, yeah.
Yeah. Sustained hits 2 into. Well, but, like, they're objectively better, I guess, if you're fighting monsters rather than just vehicles now, right?
But that still kicks off on 60 to hit, though.
But,
If you're charging with 3 Centurions, 3 attacks each, possibly 4 if they're Blood Angels, and 12, so that might be 4 extra attacks. Yeah, okay.
and they are the strength 11 attacks for Blood Angels. But I mean, it's hard to know. Like, what do you think the toughness of a Greater Demon of Khorne would be, for example? Like, what's the toughness of a Bloodthirster going to be? Is it going to be toughness 12, or is it going to be?
I don't know. We should probably look at the Tyranids one to find out what their big gribbly toughnesses are like.
Any guesses in chat what the toughness of a Bloodthirster might be? Anyone know?
You know, I'm going to call you a liar.
I was going to say, there might be a disgruntled GW employee in here. Oh, look, DTM saying Bloodthirster's toughness 11. Is that just an educated guess?
Or do you know that from somewhere, mate? They've been previewed, apparently. So 11, 12, and 10, which is okay.
Okay, so Centurions for Blood Angels will wound a Bloodthirster on 4s.
With rerolls.
And then 6s will burst 2 extra hits.
6 to hit.
I never actually looked. Can anything attach to Centurion Squad?
No.
No, nothing can.
Nothing.
Sad times, those poor Centurions.
Although they can fit in a Land Raider, just like everything else.
Yeah.
I didn't actually bother looking at the Land Raider Redeemer. How does its flamers?
I didn't look at the Redeemer, but I did look at the Crusader and noticed that the Crusader did keep its increased troop capacity.
Yeah. Well, I'd
So if you want,
massively shocked if it didn't.
I was going to say, if you want to get like 2 big Blade Guard veteran squads with 2 Judas ERs,
That'll fit in one Crusader.
That'll fit in one Crusader, yeah. I mean,
pretty awesome.
If the enemy has a railgun, it could be pretty dangerous to do that, though.
Yeah.
That's why I thought maybe Impulsors might start, like maybe Impulsors are a good thing to have?
A couple of people have mentioned the new Storm Raven.
Just because it can transport a Redemptor Dreadnought?
It can transport any Dreadnought now, there's no restrictions, which is kind of nice. The thing that puts me off the Storm Raven now, I mean, it never had this ability before, but honestly, I thought it would get the Assault Ramp ability, and it didn't. So the fact it can't move, disgorge, and then charge. I suppose it's really fast because it's a flyer. The -1 damage reduction means it's a little bit more likely to take fire before things. No, I'm not sold on the new Storm Raven.
What's the toughness of Storm Raven? 9?
10.
Oh, 10. Okay.
3 up save, 14 wounds. -1
Minus
damage
1
reduction.
damage. Is it a mistake that -1 damage reduction doesn't say anything about reduced to minimum of 1?
If it is a mistake, it's a consistent mistake.
So do we think -1 damage means you're impervious to 1 damage weapons?
So far, that is exactly what it means, yes.
See, that's interesting. Like, if Redemptor Dreadnoughts are immune to 1 damage weapons, and they're on, like, 2 up save, and they're going to be monstrous in combat for Blood Angels.
Is that really that big a deal? Because if you're shooting Redemptors with 1 damage weapons, then the only thing that really affects you is going to be grav, because that's the only sort of anti-armor that you're going to be shooting.
Oh no, I always lose my Redemptors to trash, man. Like, stuff that wounds it on 6s, it's always like, it always gets chipped away to death.
Fair enough.
I feel like, anyway.
Okay.
It's gonna be a whole new world.
You could put your 6-blade guard and Judicia inside a drop pod if you wanted.
Yeah, just drop pod them right in front of their melee unit and be like, "Come at me, bro.
Yeah,
I'm fighting first."
absolutely.
Jim says he likes the Brutalis with its charge and its tank shock. Yeah, I mean, that's 12 mortal wounds on the charge, Jim, or a good chance, or not a good chance, but it can. I guess it's not. What's it going to do on average? Most of the time, it's going to do like 8 to 9 mortal wounds every time you charge with a Redemptor Dreadnought. If you pay, a Brutalis Dreadnought if you pay 1 CP. I'm going to be building my Brutalis next. Yay!
I didn't get as far as transports. So I'm meant to be building Blood Angels Assault Terminators here, and I spent the entire night flicking through data sheets and reading rules for you lot.
I was going to say, that's why on my streams I'm always so slow, Mark.
That's why you get stuff done, or at least you get hobby stuff done during the hobby streams.
Yeah, but sometimes I do have to ignore chat and like answer select questions because it's like,
yeah,
you can't eat up all your time.
Except super chats, they always get answered.
No, that's
super chat now.
I was trying to explain to my child this morning what a thumbs up meant.
How did that go down?
I don't think she got it.
Fair enough.
I liked the impulsors are firing deck 6.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like that so much. Well,
what are you going to put in it?
I was thinking
Hellblasters
Las Cannon Devastators.
You know, put Desolators inside an impulsor.
I mean, you could. That would make it. If you had a Tech Marine, that would make it very easy to get your dev.
+1
I think. Yeah, +1 dev. I think Desolators though, in a 10-man squad is maybe the way to run. Dante will 100% get new rules for 10th.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's a given.
I
find
imagine
it interesting that all captains have got this Rights of War ability. None of the chapter masters in the back do, and there's no generic chapter master as well. I don't know if you noticed that, by the way.
Yeah, so is that just gone now?
Apparently so.
Like, you can't upgrade a character to your chapter master anymore.
Apparently so.
You can't put Devastators in an Impulsor. This model is limited to 6 Tacticus or Phobos infantry models.
Yeah, and Desolators are Tacticus armoured.
He was saying Devastators. Can't put Devastators in an Impulsor.
Oh, no, Devastators can't go in Impulsor.
But I mean, Desolators are just. I mean, their super crack missiles are basically the same as las cannons, actually, aren't they now? D6 plus 1.
I thought they were a bit more powerful.
No, I think they're the same now.
Oh, fair enough.
I think they used to be D3 plus 3 in this current edition. So I think it might be the case that everything that was D3 plus 3 is now D6 plus 1. Which I was going to say, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't really know.
There is nothing I can see that says that a transport cannot carry more than one unit.
Eliminators with las fusel? No, I don't think it'll just be the capacity.
Yeah.
Eliminators with las fusels and las fusels became D6 plus 1 as well, right?
Do they?
I think so. I did look at them earlier today.
I thought they were just D6.
Oh, maybe they are just flat D6.
I might be mistaken.
No, I think you're right. There's
so many new things to remember now. Oh my god.
Oh, it's been so hot today here in Scotland. For once.
Razorback gives reroll to wound, but not +1 to wound. You get reroll to wounds from a lot of places, so you need to get +1 to wound from somewhere. You need to get +1 to wound from shooting onto Devastators somehow, and I'm not sure we can. No, I don't want +1 to wound from Devastators, what we're talking about.
But you can get full rerolls from Oath of Moments, so I guess you just got to be smart.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about Melter. I want the Melter to be reliable for me. I want to be wounding on 4s with rerolls, or wounding on 3s. Wounding on 5s with rerolls doesn't quite cut it, because that's 55% success rate. It's not reliable enough.
Just to say it's 50% success rate, you've got your maths wrong.
What?
If you wound on 5s with full rerolls, that's 50%, yeah.
Nah, it's 55%.
It's 50.
Is it?
It's because it would be 33% like the 5s, right? And then you miss with 66. Oh, you're right. No, you're right. I thought it was 50. Why did I think that was 50?
I do like being told I'm right. Makes my day, that does.
Man, I'm sure it was 50. Okay.
I mean, the most powerful anti-armor gun that we've got in this index is the Repulsor Executioner with its Strength 16 heavy laser destroyer.
Yeah, and then the Gladiator Lancer is not far behind.
Yeah, Strength 14.
But the Reaper
there's
looks...
a couple of Strength 14s. The Vindicator Strength 14, if I recall correctly.
James is asking who's excited to play 3-player Space Marine 2. I guess that's coming... When did they say that was coming?
Q4 2023, so...
Q4, okay.
Peak this year.
Man, it's almost Q3 already, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's getting there. So all vehicles in here cap out at toughness 12.
Yes. But they did say there was some stuff that had higher than toughness 12, like that.
Yeah, the super heavies, I fully expect to.
Yeah.
See, Jim, the thing about Graf's having anti-vehicle 2+ is it's great, but they've got -1 AP, and pretty much all armor has a save of 2 up. With a very few exceptions, some of them have got 3 up. -1 AP just isn't great. Really?
Yeah, and I could be wrong here, but like, as much as anti-armor sounds great, it also means like, alright, this next army you're fighting is full of Chaos Demons, and then you're like, oh well, I've got anti-armor, and it's like, well, that does diddly squat in this matchup, you know? Yeah. So I think you have to be wary about that. I mean, that's why +1 to wound that's why, like, last edition Blood Angels players just, like, went hard on melee, because it was like, well, there's very few things. There is a few things that countered our +1 to wound, like friggin' Inner Circle from Dark Angels and stuff. Or Leviathan, was it? No, was it Leviathan? What was the Tyranid one?
All the stuff about Transhuman.
Transhuman? I forget what it's called. They got nerfed before. Anyway.
Vindicator would benefit from the land speeder buff, because it's a blast. So that gives it +1 to hit and ignores cover.
Yeah, our Scots are not built from the heat. That's very true.
Vindicator with +1 hit and ignores cover on its gun. That was pretty awesome.
The Vindicator did look objectively better with D6+3 for the number of shots. Like, I just built that Vindicator Laser Destroyer. Maybe I'll just proxy it as a Vindicator.
Oh, the Redeemer's capacity's gone up from 12 to 14 now. Okay. Interesting. So you can fit 2 units of Blade Guard with a Judicia each into a Redeemer.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But it can't really... what am I building? Desolators, yes.
I wonder if Judicious are suddenly going to go out of stock on eBay or just have their prices hiked.
I was going to say, because they're broken, James, of course. And then after that, I'm going to build a Brutalis Dreadnought, because it does 12 mortal wounds on the charge. I didn't even look at the Brutalis' Dreadnought's melee profile mark. I just literally went, oh, when you charge, roll a d6, and you can do 6 d3 plus 3 mortal wounds, and then I can play Tank Shock for like another 5, almost guaranteed 6 mortal wounds. So I was like, okay, yeah. Like, I don't even know what its melee profile is. So it's just like, it can do 12 mortal wounds on the charge. And it's got a melee profile. It's a melee Dreadnought, so realistically, the Brutalis is just going to be...
There can be debate on what weapon to give the Brutalis until the end of next week when we know what the points costs are. There's no point coming to any kind of decision until the points are out. Sorry, that was a response to something in chat.
That's no problem.
D6 plus 3 shots. Strength 14, D6 damage.
I am pleased that they kept...
AP minus 3, yeah, Vindicators. Nice, solidly anti-armor. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, I'm pleased to... who was it? Trivial Pursuit was saying that he was pleased to see Contemptors were still in there. And I was pretty pleased to see that as well. Especially the rule of reviving on... it was crazy. It was like reviving on a 2-up or something?
Really, yeah, it's on a 2-up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was pleased to see that. At that point, I mean, you could actually just run 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts and just YOLO them straight forward.
I'd get 3 of them, to be honest. They're just going to come back to life.
Yeah, that seems good. But I was pleasantly surprised to see the Redemptor's profile as well. Like, I think I can see myself running, like, because we're going to need to include some sort of anti-armor, and I'm not yet sold on, like, spending all the points on, like, a Land Raider. Just because, 1, we don't know the points of the Land Raider, and 2, if we run into someone that's got a railgun, the Land Raider could have a really bad day. Whereas I feel like I could be sold on just running 3 Redemptors, but, like, playing them, like, normally, up until now, when I play a Redemptor Dreadnought, I play it pretty cagey. You know, like, just completely change it. Just, like, all 3 Redemptors are just going to run at you in turn 1. And the second you open up on one of them, I'm going to play whatever defensive strat I can. Like, you know, Armor of Contempt or something. Because then, it's got a 2-up save now, right? A Redemptor Dreadnought, and it's -1 damage. And all the AP is lower. So, let's say you hit it with -2. Well, if I play Armor of Contempt on it, now I'm saving on 3s. What is it, like, toughness 10?
I think my favourite anti-armor choice in this index
Tell me.
is going to be the Gladiator Lancer.
Wait, what special rule does it have?
So, the Lancer Laser Destroyer, right? 72-inch range. Two shots, hitting on 3s. Strength 14, -4 AP, D6 plus 3 damage, and every time you select it to shoot, it can re-roll 1 hit, 1 wound, and 1 damage roll. Every turn.
Nice.
Get 3 of them, strategic reserve them, wait for the enemy to expose themselves, bring them on, and just blow the crap out of whatever's pissing you off.
I mean, it'll kill their enemy armor, but after that, it's not going to do all that much, right?
Yeah.
Do you need 3 of them? Then?
Sorry?
Do you need 3 of them?
Do you need 3? Oh, probably not. 2 of them have... Well, so D6 plus 3 damage, 2 shots, re-rolling 1 hit roll, so you're almost certainly going to hit with at least 1, possibly both shots. It's got some storm bolters. It can still tank shock things. It's got OC3. It's a tank itself.
I mean, I do think Blood
3's
Angels are
probably
gonna,
overkill.
you're going to have to bring some anti-armor. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're bringing 3 of them, I'm bringing 3 Redemptors. What's going to scare you more?
Don't know. But I have been thinking about melee as well. What I am thinking is, if you get something with strength 8, like Thunderhammer, that'll be wounding basically any armor on 5s.
Yeah, it's not great,
You can
is
get
it?
plus wound. If you can get +1 to wound from somewhere, and there's a few places where you can get +1 to wound from, you could be wounding any armor on 4s. And if you can re-roll those wounds, and there's a few places you can get re-roll to wound from, then wounding armor on 4s with a re-roll is not bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's 75% chance, right?
Yeah, and at
Which
that
is-
point, that's getting to the point where with sufficient volume of attacks, I can see that being reliable enough.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that could be reliable enough.
Strength 7 doubles out to toughness 14, so it would wound toughness 14 on 6s rather than 5s. So I would need it to be strength 8 or higher, I think. For melee.
James is asking if he thinks that they'll FAQ the Dreadnoughts being in Storm Raidens. I don't think so. I think that's a deliberate decision, James.
Yeah, they don't care anymore. They just said, oh, fuck it, it's a pointless little rules complication that we don't care about anymore. Ooh, Predator Annihilator might be worthwhile as well. The problem with that is just not as reliable at its shooting.
But, I mean, people will still run Tech Marines, right?
Yeah, for the +1 to hit.
And it's not like... Right, so... Like in the last edition, if you ran like a bunch of characters, people just went like, oh, you run a bunch of characters, I'll take Assassinate. I don't think it's as simple as that anymore, right?
We have no idea. We've not seen the full contents of that deck in any way, shape, or form yet.
Yeah, that's true. I got the feeling
It's
that
highly
it's
likely
a little
to be
bit more
something
random.
that says killing characters gives you points. There's going to be something like that in there, because that's just an easy win for them.
Redemptors wound gladiators on 5, Jim. Yes, shooting, but my point is I would just run all 3 Redemptors straight forward. Because if they get in combat, they're pretty darn... they're strength 13 in combat. I mean, that's why I always liked Redemptor Dreadnoughts, was like... Their shooting was okay, but the real strength of them was getting into combat with the Redemptor Dreadnought, right?
Alongside their relative resilience and value for points.
And if they're if they are immune to damage 1 weapons, just period immune, you're going to get some of them into combat if you run 3 of them, right?
Have you seen the Fire Strike ability, John?
I did read it. I've forgotten what it was now.
Each time the Fire Strike is targeted by Fire Overwatch, it hits its Overwatch hits on 4s.
So I thought the way you need to do that then is to run 2 Fire Strikes, because they take in squads of 1 to 2.
You can, yeah.
So there's no. I don't know if I would run 1, because I mean, like, it's like a couple of shots, right? So like Overwatch
It's
is not
2 or
gonna
3
be...
shots, yeah.
But if you run 2 of them, then that gets interesting, because if they charge the 2 of them, then all of a sudden it's like, all right, we're gonna actually kill some shit on Overwatch here.
No. They don't even have to charge them now.
Oh yeah, well I guess they don't even have to charge. You're right. Yeah.
They could just end their movement in
Within 12
somewhere the
inches or
Fire
something.
Strike can see them, and then daka.
They have to end within 12 inches, though, right?
Was that range?
I think that was the Overwatch rule. I mean, the turret, what is it? The Hammerfall bunker actually has an even better one, where it's just like it can just shoot at shit that
Hammerfall
moves.
bunker is absolutely actually useful now these days. You're absolutely right. 24 inches for Overwatch.
Oh, 24 as much as that.
Yeah.
Nathan thinks that you'll see Duty Eternal getting fixed quickly. So we'll find out.
Depends how rare it is. If loads of things get it, it'll get fixed. If it's not that rare, if it is very rare, then it might just stay as it is. And it makes sense that little bolt rounds ping off heavy armor. But maybe for the sake of game balance, it gets changed in the Grand Tournament pack that they release. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed, huh?
Yeah, Overwatch is 24 inches, and you can trigger it after an enemy unit is set up, or starts or ends a normal move, advanced move, a fallback move, or a charge move. So versatile.
It's gonna be a different game.
Very much so. In all sorts of subtle little ways. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up some intercessors and try and convert them into desolators.
I feel
I
so.
have awoken.
Hey, Hadley, thank you so much. I now have that cool sound effect from Tony for memberships. Kind of scared the shit out of me there for a second.
I can't hear it my side.
I was going to say, so are Desolators aren't on eBay, or they were just really badly priced on eBay?
They are, but they're like 35 quid for 5.
Okay, yeah.
Which is reasonable for what you expect GW to eventually sell them for.
That is true, I suppose.
But I'd rather pay 35 quid for 10 intercessors and kit bash them. Use the aggressor backpacks and tactical devastating ring Tsar watchers. That's a good shout. That's a very good shout, actually.
Since it's always fun doing your own conversions of stuff as well, so...
I think I want to get some more flamer aggressors. So I've got some bolter aggressors. I think I want to get some flame ones. Plus, they're also really good in boarding action. I was racking a bit on Eradicators earlier, and I'm still not completely sold on them as premier anti-armor choice stuff. It's the strength 9 that bugs me. But the -4 AP makes them really good for killing vehicles. So if you can get the bonuses to wound, so the strength 9 means they'll be wounding vehicles on 5s.
4s or 5s, I guess. Right?
They're not going to be wounding many vehicles on 4s. Toughness 9 vehicles?
Rhinos and pulsars.
A couple of dreadnoughts, alright, fair enough. But it does say each time they shoot a monster or vehicle, they can reroll the hit roll and the wound roll and the damage roll. And if you're re-rolling a 5-up wound roll, then that's the 55% we came to earlier. They don't make loads of shots, but...
No, they don't have that many shots at all, I suppose. And they have short range now. Really short range.
18-inch, yeah.
Like, I know it's only 6 inches less, but I think, like, they're a slow-moving unit that you don't really want to be moving around all that much, because they get benefit.
Well, you can use Devastator Doctrine for a turn if you're running Gladius, and then they can advance and fire.
Well, that's true, I suppose. But yeah, Eradicators, to me, felt a little bit dead on arrival. Do you know what? I didn't look at the profile of attack bikes. Was there anything special on a Firstborn attack bike, or an Invader ATV? I never actually looked at them.
I don't think I'm going to be running them anymore.
What, attack bikes?
Yeah.
I don't know, I always like attack bikes.
Is a bit of a disappointment, but I got use out of them in 9th Ed, so I can't really complain too hard.
Yeah, I thought, I heard a rumour that, like, Firstborn speeders were going to be legend, but actually it seems like they actually are really good now.
Yeah, loads of people have been doom saying, everything's gonna go legends, wah! And most of it hasn't.
Yeah. I mean, if the only thing that went Legends is a lieutenant with a jump pack, I mean, that's a character that I never, ever ran. I guess a few people here and there ran lieutenants with a jump pack, but I feel like it was very edge case, right?
Yeah. I ran him in Ravengard, but I never ran him in Blood Angels because of the characters that you were trying to always stick to a maximum of 3 characters. Meant that I always had higher priorities for the characters I'd want to bring.
That's fair.
So the attack bike special ability is called Outrider Escort. It says once per turn in your opponent's shooting phase, when a friendly Adeptus Astartes mounted unit within 6 inches of this unit, which will be a bike or an outrider or anything that's like riding something, is selected as the target of an attack, use this ability. Then after the enemy unit has finished shooting at it, the attack bikes can shoot back.
I mean, that's not horrific.
It's like an escort free shooting ability. Don't know. Yeah, I was looking for the jump lieutenant exactly for that same reason, Jim, so that I could potentially give jump infantry lethal hits. And the fact that I couldn't find it annoyed me slightly. But I guess for balance reasons, that is a bad idea.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Oh well. I mean, there's a lot.
Alter Discipline's shooting only, right? It doesn't affect melee stuff, I assume.
I would assume so. I didn't read it I didn't
read it that closely.
Yeah,
it's specifically range weapons. Which is fine. What do you think of the enhancements?
I mean, the generic marine ones seem fine. I thought it was nice that there was only a few of them and they all looked usable. I think that was the complaint that most of us had before, right? Where it was like, well, I mean, we went through like most of 9th edition, and it was only sort of at the end of 9th edition people actually started realizing, oh, like the Voxus Spiritum with that chaplain is actually really good. And it's like, wow, we've had this rule for like 3 years and no one fucking used it.
Well, it's in the core rules that you can only take a maximum of 3 enhancements. And people have been saying that they think they're going to cost points, but we haven't seen anything to confirm or deny that one way or the other yet.
Oh, right, okay. Interesting.
I guess we'll find out when the points document comes out, if they're in it or not.
Yeah.
Or if GW says otherwise. But I would quite happily give 3 out of 4 of these enhancements to some characters.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bolter Discipline is good. I think you want to give it to Desolation. I think Desolation, like I was going to say that I think they made the Desolation Marine rules are so strong to sell Desolation Marines, but you can't fucking buy Desolation Marines, so I don't know why they made the rules so strong.
Yeah.
They just have really strong rules. They had strong rules last edition. It looks like the rules are even stronger this edition, arguably.
Only characters can be given enhancements. Your army cannot include more than 3 enhancements in total. No units can have more than 1 enhancement, and each enhancement included in your army must be unique. So you cannot take the same enhancement twice. Epic heroes cannot be given enhancements.
Why do I use this glue? I don't know. It was cheap, I think, and it's got a better applicator than the GW stuff. Does anyone actually use GW glue?
No, I
bought their super glue one time and it didn't stick anything together, so I just never bought GW glue again.
I went on Amazon and I bulk ordered like 5 or 6 pots of army builder plastic glue.
Alright, cool. I got like 5 more minutes, so I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, no worries, dude.
Are we doing the painting competition tomorrow night? Are you good for that?
Yeah, I'm good for that.
Okay. So
I might not be able to make the time we said. I might be a little bit later than that, which is why I said that. But yeah, I'm on for that. I think Tony said he was good for that as well.
Alright, cool. Well, ping me what time that would make most sense for you, and let's do it. So we're going to do the winners of the painting competition tomorrow night. So it seems like nobody, although there was like major pre-order drama this morning, no one in chat said that they tried to order the box and didn't get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody who wanted to get one that I've seen, again,
Got one.
narratively, has gotten one.
Well, that's good. Because I would have been really sad if I hadn't got one, but I'd also been sad for, I would have been sad for somebody if they were like, I really wanted one and I couldn't get it.
Yeah. I get the feeling that people expected there to be drama and short supply and being able to get them and kind of wanted that drama and were sort of playing it up, but in the end, after the whole queuing thing and websites going down died down, everybody who wanted one got one.
Start off accidentally ordered 3. I guess he was desperate to get it.
You're going to keep those 3 and you're going to sell them off, or you're going to get refunds for 2 of them?
I was going to say, if you've got 3, then you literally just made $1,000 on eBay because they were like £599 on eBay
people
today.
Are buying it. You reckon who'd actually paid that money for it?
I don't know. You can look at completing listings on eBay though, and last time, like with the lion. I mean, I guess it's a different model, right? Because the lion was like kind of limited, and people have wanted the lion for a long time. But you could argue the 10th edition box set is also limited, and people really want it because, like, I have the box set. Like, I've got Indomitus, I've got the one before that, whatever that was called, Dark Imperium. So it's like, if you're a collector and you have all the box sets, are you just going to be like, oh well, I didn't get the new one, I'll not worry about it. You know what I'm saying? So arguably, I mean, we'll see. We'll check completed listings at some point in the next few weeks, and I bet we'll see some. You might not see it go for 600, but I would guess you'd probably see at least 2 times retail, maybe 3 times retail. Like,
the Primaris Ancient's actually got a good ability as well. Nice.
So all the ancients now give aura of OC of +1 OC. Is that correct?
It's not an aura. It applies to the unit that they're attached to. But yeah, they all do that, and they all have something else on top as well. So the Primaris Ancient increases the OC of the unit that he's attached to by 1, and while he is within range of an objective marker and or within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield, he gets Feel No Pain 4+.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that they finally made the ancients useful, though.
Yeah.
Right, because like ancients were almost like a joke, and that
there's no almost about it. We took the piss out of them so many times.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We did take the mick out of them. Yes, ancients were a joke. No
almost
one ran
as
them.
Much as Gabriel Seth. He's obviously a beast joke.
There was no reason to run the ancients, and now it's like. In some ways it's interesting because obviously there's a Sanguinary Ancient, so I imagine the Sanguinary Ancient will only be able to be attached to Sanguinary Guard, and like what's he going to do?
I mean, the Terminator Ancient can only be attached to Terminators, so that would figure.
So I think I prefer that. Like I like the idea of like my Sanguinary Ancient having to be with the Sanguinary Guard as opposed to this lone Rights of War character that just jumps around and then inevitably gets killed.
Yeah, I can agree with that. That makes sense. Maybe I should get a Primaris Company champion as well. That doesn't look bad.
Jim's saying he doesn't give the unit a 4-up. It's just maybe he has a 4-up?
That's correct, yeah. It's only him. So you'd have to allocate all the hits onto him first for him to try and tank them with his Feel No Pain 4-up. Which you're either happy with or you don't.
Yeah, I never liked the on a 4-up you get to make 1 additional attack.
Oh shit, somebody mentioned that. Can you allocate hits deliberately to a character when they're attached to... Or I
can't see any reason you couldn't allocate hits directly to it, but I think the point is like once you start allocating hits to him, then you would have to allocate all of them, right?
Yeah, no, there's this thing where some people are saying you literally can't.
Oh,
which would mean he'd be like the last model left.
I didn't see that in the rules.
Raziel was muttering something about the Victrix bodyguard and the ability they gave Manius Calgar being completely freaking useless.
Interesting.
Because they would die before he got to be benefiting from the bodyguarding ability that they give.
Whew.
I'll look it up at some point. I need to go through this again. I need to go through everything again someday. Yeah. A unit or two of scout snipers for backfield objective holding sounds good. Yeah. Basic scout marines get free guerrilla tactics. Good for them. I do like Kayvan Strike. His new rules are quite nice.
He's the Raven Guard character, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What does he get that's nice? So I scrolled to the end there and saw that they had a bunch of characters, but... So...
There's no
if I'm
interest
wrong,
to you at all, no.
Well, yeah, they're no interest to me, but... My question was, like, if you have a character there in that last section, does that basically mean you're fucked, you're not getting a codex?
Pretty much, yeah.
So, like, Iron Hands are just gonna be, what, the basic marine?
There'll be everything in here, yeah. Oh, and the Forge World stuff, whatever the Forge World thing turns out to be.
Okay.
So, Shrike he's basically a Vanguard vet. He's 12-inch move, toughness 4, 3 up, 5 wounds, blah, blah, blah. He's got Deep Strike, Leader, Lone Operative, and Stealth, which is -1 to hit, which is nice. The buffs he gives, while he's leading a unit, and he can lead an Assault Squad with jump packs, or Vanguard vets with jump packs. The unit he's with can't be targeted by ranged attacks unless you're within 12 inches, because he's all shadowy and stuff, which is nice. Yep. And at the end of your opponent's turn, he can do a shadow teleport if he's not within engagement range of any enemy models. You pick him up and put him in strategic reserves.
Okay, not like coming back in the same turn, just coming back in a future turn. Is that right?
So at the end of your opponent's turn, you pick him up and place him in strategic reserves. So in your turn, which is the following turn, he can just then come back at the end of your phase.
Drop him down. Okay, interesting. So here's a question then, right? Just to end the stream, I guess. We are going to be doing... We're going to be doing the painting competition tomorrow night. Probably starting around this time then. If I think we'd said 9:30 was maybe too early. So I'll post that up.
9:30 UK time is probably good.
Okay, so 9:30 tomorrow night. Then we'll do the live stream for the winners of the painting the Blood Angels painting competition, right? What are we doing on Thursday on Grots? Do you want to just go through the whole Space Marine? Rules?
Yeah. Well, if the schedule is followed. Then on Thursday, if we do a live stream, every single index will have been released by that point.
Oh, really?
The only thing we'll be lacking will be points.
Okay.
So we can go over any index we wanted on Thursday, which is probably a fairly good topic to have.
Alright, I was going to say, cool. So, if you haven't yet subscribed to our 3 Grots channel, that's where me, Tony, and Mark every week, or every second week?
Every second week.
We do something.
We have done every week. We went down. We're probably going to go up again at some point soon.
Yeah, we probably have more to talk about in 10th edition. There's a link. If you haven't subscribed to our... Do what, sorry?
We're just going to have a little bit more to talk about. Teeny bit.
Oh, yeah, a teeny bit more, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the link. If you haven't yet clicked that link and subscribed to our other channel, you should do that. We would really appreciate it. What Legion do you think is the best for the new box?
New box.
I mean, it's really an Ultramarines box, isn't it? Like, it was Ultramarines in the trailer. It's definitely a shooting Legion, right? Because it's not a melee box. It's not a melee focused box, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then, I mean, like, Strike Force Augustus wasn't a melee focused box, and I think it's going to be great for Blood Angels. So.
Well, the Brutalis was pretty melee focused.
Yeah. I mean, Desolation Marines, I guess, are just going to be good for everybody.
I don't know yet. Out of all of the ones that we are out so far in the index, I'd say Ultramarines.
Yeah,
they're the most tactically flexible. Gilliman, the new Gilliman is a badass, and you get
Yes.
all the various characters they've got access to, which make it very tasty. But it's just like an early pick.
Yeah. All right, so 9:30 tomorrow night, painting competition. Mark will be here. Tony will probably be here. Mark, thanks for joining tonight. It's been fun talking. It's going to be so much fun, actually. I'm so ready for a change up in the rules.
Yeah.
We'll be live on Thursday as well. Well, we are going to be live on Thursday. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about yet, but follow us, and we will be live Thursday.
And you've got your first 10th Ed game lined up for release day, have you, John?
I spoke to Miles today, so Miles bought it in the local shop, which means that he should have his copy on the day.
Yeah.
So we will have the rules to play on the day.
You'll have the rules to play ahead of the day. You'll have everything you need by next Friday.
Including the data cards?
You'll have all the data cards will be out by next Friday, and all of the points. And the rules are already out. If you want, next Friday, assuming the schedule goes as it is, everything that you need to play the game will be out.
Okay, well, I arranged today with Miles to do this on the 24th. Maybe I was wrong.
I mean, you'll be lacking the mission cards. So you'd have to play the mission in the back of the rulebook.
Okay. Well, I think what we will have is a proper live launch day stream on the 24th, and then maybe we can, I don't know, maybe I can play all day with Miles, and then I can join you guys in the evening. We'll see.
See how it goes.
Alright, cool. I'm taking off. Mark, thanks again.
Pleasure. Always good talking to you. Everybody else?
Take care, guys. Good night.